is, and I'm sharing this with y'all, sometimes you got to be careful of the people who are like, well, you can do it if you want to, but I ain't boo-boo the food. I ain't doing it. I ain't, and that's fine. I think though, when someone says I ain't boo-boo the food, what they're trying to say is you are. You boo-boo the food if you do that. And you have to be. I have to be careful of people like that, because what I know to be true is they're trying to box me into a certain category or a certain way that they think or that they feel as well. Good morning and happy Saturday before Easter. Not much going on here. Literally just hopped out of the shower, putting on a little makeup, and thought I'd say hi. Kind of looks like I have some on, well, only looks like it on the right side. Left side doesn't look like I'm wearing blush, but I'm not. Just wash my face. Those are the fun things about having sensitive skin. Kind of look reddish sometimes. But I'm still going to do some spot correcting before I head on out the door, going absolutely nowhere special. My cheeks move a lot. I talk very expressively, so I have to kind of be quiet when I'm trying to put this on my spots. And then usually by the time I get wherever I'm going, the redness from washing my face is gone. Let me just... Girl, there's so many spots on this side, I might as well go for the foundation look almost. There we go. And then we'll blend that in a little bit later. My skin looks like it's finally starting to clear up from when I used, what was that, hair, nails, and skin, some kind of pill vitamin thing that I got, and it had biotin in it. Is once I learned and I stopped taking it, it just seemed like it just kept purging and purging and purging out of my skin. Or I was further exacerbating the situation by some of the other products I started using. I think my skin, I'm just coming to the conclusion that, what was I using? I still might even have a container of it. Oh no, I threw it out. Good for me. Because usually it's hard for me to throw something away that I haven't totally used because somebody else may use it, or maybe it wasn't that, or maybe I can clean my makeup brushes with it, or I can come up with 11 excuses for why I don't want to just end up saying, oh, I wasted my money. But it wasn't Neutrogena. I'm looking at the container and just can't see it, but it had salicylic acid and stuff in there that you would think would help speed the process of healing, and it just didn't. Like, my skin didn't like it. That's that iron telling me it's still on for now and getting ready to go off. I bought my shirt, got this shirt from Target. I love the blue of it. What I don't love is white buttons on it. For some reason, in my humble opinion, white buttons kind of cheapen the look of a pigmented shirt. But the blue on this may not come up on camera, but it is downright gorgeous. So I'm ignoring that for now. Filling in my sparse eyelashes a little bit. Love, love, love. And I said this before, I love this mascara. Just for the separation and the natural look of it. Y'all know I don't do a whole beat at all on my face. I've done one before. I'm probably out of practice. I was about to say I've done one before and I know how to do it, but by now I might be out of practice. I could probably drag that to my upper lid today, but we shan't. We'll just lift up the corners here. Have some hyperpigmentation there. That much is pretty natural, but yeah, all of this is from biotin. I just want to kind of tap that in. And then it's a little bit hard to see what's going to be the final result, as my cheeks are still a little bit red right now. But I'm ready to get out the door, so I'm not going to wait this out today. Thought I had the other brush in my hand. We didn't mean to put that dot there. Yeah, we're really flying blind on the right side. If that was blush, it would be kind of cute. If it was on both sides, it would be kind of cute. But it isn't. It ain't. So it ain't. Usually I visit my mother later in the day than I'm doing now. But, you know, I like to keep them on their toes. You just never know when one of her kids will drop in. At least you never know when this one will drop in. So we'll go check on her. Sometimes we get to sit out in the courtyard. Some days she'll feel like doing that. She'll talk about, oh, it'd be nice to get up and go out somewhere. Well, okay, well, let's go out to the courtyard. I don't feel like it. It's like, what are you talking about, then? But we'll see what she's in the mood for. We're going to do a little covered in roses. It sounded like I was spraying a lot, but it really wasn't coming out. This one should. There we go. Got my little cherry. What is it called? Ambery cherry. We like that. I feel like I could do one more set, but that's good enough. And with that, very simple look. Girl, it was all I could do to not put my hat on today. We rocking this super simple ponytail because, you know, I've been doing my walking. I'm proud of me. And I didn't feel like pulling this hat out one more again. It kind of goes with the outfit, but then it looks like, is she trying to be a country girl? Is she, what's the goings on? So I'm gonna go ahead and let that hat breathe for a little bit. Let my hair breathe too, for that matter. And we just, like I said, we're not really doing anything special, but y'all are welcome. You wanna come? Come on in. Y'all can come. No biggie.
How are you doing?
I'm good. You guys don't have the ballerina slipper, do you?
I don't have any
Sneaker,
ballerinas.
rather.
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing cute like that.
Okay. Thank you. I get that in reality, I probably have to take my happy parts right on back to that same old store that I left. But it ain't gonna be without me trying to find a bargain first. They didn't have it. That's cool. That's not bad. The price is hecka good. But I think I'm really getting to that tired of looking phase. Way too much pink. Unless I change my cushions, right? I'm not mad at a mauve moment. But I can't see it on my yellow couch. I can't see that over my yellow couch. I wonder if I should just get something, kind of lay it out, and see how I feel about it. Because me just, you know, flipping through and taking glances doesn't seem to be getting it. And I'm very over the process of it. I kind of like that. Let's get a cart. I'm pretty sure I'll end up bringing some of this stuff back, but at least we'll start laying it out and getting a thought and an idea for it, so. Oh, that's cute. It's in the wrong place. Little half trench situation. I don't see the $35 in it though. I mean, I like Kenneth Cole and all, but y'all know I can appreciate a good dupe moment. But that was cute. Ain't enough spring left in the season to get that anyway. All right, so let's pick up a couple of pieces for placements and ideas. And we're gonna call it a day on this for now. You know what's weird is now that I'm back and looking at it, I like it less. I know the sole of the shoe never did really agree with me, but I just knew I was gonna come and treat myself, but why do I like the way it looks in black more? Oh, I bet it's because of the sole. Black doesn't have that funky colored sole. But I already know me. I'm going to get less use out of black. How did I hype myself up for that shoot? Wait a minute. And this? What? Why is my camera acting crazy? This is what's going for a plus size model now? That's giving very average. How is that? These do not look like plus size. This looks like very average size to me. But that's Lane Bryant's idea of plus size now. Anyway, I'm so disappointed. How did I get myself all psyched up to go ahead and pay more than I wanted to for that shoe, and they don't even, it was just off. Didn't quite hit right for me. I should have tried it on that first day in the first place. All right, home goods. Y'all see anything? And specifically, I'm thinking of what would be good to put in my bowl. But I ain't had 2 hot seconds. But I've been in and out of so many stores today. I went out to the parking lot, couldn't find my car for a minute. If that was really green, I don't know if it comes over, but it's purple looking in person. If it was really green, I could just snip the balls off. Oh, that sounds highly inappropriate, but I could just cut them off and put them in a bowl to do what I'm thinking. Tell me how pretty I am. We're getting greased up like a Easter ham so we can go do our walking. Give that sunscreen a minute and we're gonna head on out the door. Today was a busy day, but look at me getting my 2 in. I'm trying to do some 2-a-days, at least on the weekends. And then on weekdays, whatever days I'm here, because I do tend to go out some evenings, but whatever days I'm here, I'm gonna try to walk in the evening if it ain't raining. And then we're gonna see about this weight. Come on now. Only thing I don't like about walking for weight loss is as soon as you stop walking, the calories stop burning. It's not like weightlifting. You have to lift weights for the calorie burning to be ongoing. But hey, a win's a win and we taking them. Hey sunshine, happy Sunday, happy Easter Sunday. In fact, it is here in Kansas City a very nice, mild day. And when I tell you I really didn't get to enjoy it at all, didn't at all. It's like 6 o'clock in the evening, and this is my usual time I would be walking. In fact, I got dressed to go walking, but I had a little bit I wanted to finish up on one of my papers. Y'all, I was supposed to do a whole lot of work over spring break, but I didn't want to. I wanted to enjoy my little piece of time off. The plan was to do oops, I got this on. I don't think I turned it on. There we go. Now it's on. Let me start that all over. I was just pretty much saying hello, sunshine, and it's a beautiful day here in Kansas City that I did not get to enjoy. It's my last day of spring break. It is Easter Sunday, and I have been indoors pounding out papers all day long. And when I tell you all day, like if I've been up for 8 hours, I've been at my computer for 7 of them. Well, that's not true. I mean, at the break of dawn, I got up, I got out, and I went walking. Then I got dressed because I was like, I'm going to write a little bit. I'll probably run a couple of errands, and then after that, I'll go walking again. But it's like 6 o'clock in the evening, and walking again ain't going to happen. It gets dark around 7:30. And instead of going walking, I'm still dressed like it. And in fact, my shirt has all of this. If y'all see that, it ain't dirty. It's from me putting on sunscreen. If y'all are out walking, please put on sunscreen, because I've seen the difference with and without. When they say black don't crack, that is not always true. Put your sunscreen on. But instead of walking, I thought I'm gonna go visit my mother, and then I'm gonna head back and get right back to work on some of those papers, because I'm at that phase now where I want to be done with it. And yeah, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to fail nothing. I will say I'm used to getting all A's. I don't care. I can take a B right about now. Because before, when I was going to school, and my push to get really good grades was for my mother. Because, she was like, oh, I want one of my children to get an advanced degree. I want this, I want that. And so, sometimes you do things for your parents. But it was also for me. It wasn't 100% altruistic. It was for me in the sense that as a teacher, we only get raises if we get more degrees. So you got to pay more to get more, and it only balances out if you teach long enough. So that's where I am now. And I'm kind of also looking at retirement-ish, but the problem with that is I know quite a few of my friends who have already retired, and guess where they are now? Right back to working. One, the economy is crazy, but also because they didn't enjoy the sedentary lifestyle like they thought they would. I, on the other hand, kind of think if I retire, I'm gonna show you how it's done. I'm gonna get up, get out, move, do things. But maybe that's what they thought too. In fact, I know that's what a couple of them thought. Another lady, and this could never be me. She kind of wants to go back to work because she said it's just like COVID. She and her husband are together too much. But I ain't finna let no man run me into the workforce. Like, God bless you, but no, or maybe he would run me to the other side of the house, but he couldn't run me back to work. I'm not doing that. But that's my thought on retirement. Like, sometimes I think about it. I kind of, if I did retire, would want to work a couple of days a week, just because I still feel like I genuinely have a lot to offer. And I know early in my teaching career, I used to feel like by me teaching, I was knocking out some sorry body who was not a good teacher. I'm sad to say I've had a lot of teachers who were not good. So I honestly understand. I was thinking about running that, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I honestly understand a lot of parents who don't have faith in teachers. If you had teachers like I had teachers, then yeah, you probably won't have faith in them. But I like to think year after year I've been restoring some, and I know, I got the sweetest email before break where a parent took time out of her life, unsolicited, just randomly, well, not all that random. Her kid went home and read something to her. I had sent out an email to my parents, and I was like, hey, send home a book. And I sent the book home on, different levels. If a kid was high, I sent a higher level book. Lower, I sent a lower level book. And so I was like, hey, I sent your kid home with the book. Please make sure that they read it to you. And the mother said that she was brought to tears. She did not know her baby could read like that. She was so proud. She was so happy that I was her daughter's teacher. She wished I had been her other daughter. So she's got 3 kids. I had her son a couple of years ago. That boy was lazy. Oh, he was lazy. I stayed on his tail. And then the next year he went right back to another to another class and was lazy again. And his mother and I kept in touch because by staying on his tail, in part, I was keeping in touch with his mother. But anyway, I had him. Then she had a middle child. I did not have her for any of the years, and then she's got her baby, which I have now. And she was like, oh, I wish my middle child had you too. She said she saw a difference in her son the year I had him. I don't necessarily know that I did, because I don't remember ever getting to let up. And I feel like, dang, if I had dug a sufficient hole in that little boy's butt, I'd have been able to let up and rest, but it wasn't no rest with him. Like, I stayed on him. So I'm glad she saw it, because I ain't quite see it, but that emails like that really do inspire me. And I think I mentioned her before, but I got to mention her again. Product Snob inspired me too, because I think she was sending me money for the Skittles, right? Her note specifically said for the kids. And I love that, because a lot of times, like for my birthday, when y'all send me money, I spent it on the kids anyway. So I spend probably an inordinate amount of money on my classroom kids, because I don't care if they're bad. I do care. I mean, like, you don't get to be bad. I don't mean it in that way. But regardless of whatever a child has going on, and a lot of these kids have so much more going on than we could ever imagine. But regardless of what they have going on, I don't like the idea of a kid being hungry in my classroom. You know what I mean? Like, even when they get in trouble and we're having a special snack time or something like that,
I'll put them in the safe seat and I'll talk a tough game. And oh my goodness, you better sit here and think about your decisions and I'll do all of that. And then, okay, lucky for you, you sat there long enough and I forgive you. So you could go ahead and have this little snack. Like I still say it tough because I'm a gangster. That's what I do. But at the end of the day, I do kind of make sure that they get something too. Because the idea of a kid being hungry, and I have kids with and kids without, the have and have nots are in my class, but everybody gonna eat in Miss Brown's class. That's just how that works. So the fact that she gave me something toward that, oh my goodness, today, oh, okay, I'm tripping. I was about to say today is the day after Easter. It's not, it's just still Easter. I honestly feel like I lost a whole day doing all that work. So yeah, remind me, y'all, we got to get up at the crack of dawn and go to Walmart as soon as they open at 6 o'clock, because it'd be me and some other teachers, or it used to be, let me keep it a being with you, because we used to do that for after Christmas and stuff and haul in a whole bunch of candy, which candy I probably don't need so much because, kids get a ton of candy in their Easter baskets, although some don't, just to be honest, some don't. But yeah, that kind of breaks my heart, especially when we come back and the kids are like, oh my goodness, the Easter Bunny gave me, and they name off buku things. And I'll see some of my other kids, some of them have just gotten adept at lying, and they'll say, oh yeah, I got this in my basket too. And I know the kids, so I know they're lying. But anyway, what I was saying was, the last couple of years, I've been going to Walmart after Christmas or after Valentine's, that's my time to clean up on candy and stuff. Baby, they done got cheap. Instead of stuff being half off, it's like 25%, 10%, just some nominal amount. Like, what? And chocolate's already sky high. But anyway, thanks to people like Product Snob, I feel better about spending more of my money on that. I'm probably cheaper with myself than I am with the people I love and care about, which is so strange to me. I was putting a kid, was this 2 years ago? Yeah. I was down helping in car riders, not my usual assignment, but I was putting a kid in the car, and the kid turned around. It was Friday, and a lot of Fridays are kind of hard on kids because they know they're about to go home. They may or may not get the attention at home that they've gotten at school, And when I put the kid in, I got ready to shut the door, and the kid turned and they were like, I love you. And I said, I love you too. It was just the truth. It was easy, and it just popped out. I didn't even think about it. And that parent actually complained about me. Complained that I was saying that and trying to build, I forgot how they phrased it, and unnatural. Was unnatural the word? I don't even remember, because I really quickly dismissed it, and thankfully admin did too. But I was just like, it's just so strange that a person thinks that other people or outside people can't have love for their child or can't love their child. Like, I genuinely care about my classroom kids. I pray for them. I work my butt off for them. So, clearly I care about them. I see them more than I get to see my own grandchild. I don't love them more than my own grandchild, I'll be clear on that. But I most certainly do love them like that. And it surprised me that, I guess if you're not in education, you may not be able to understand that. And that's not to say that's true for all teachers. Like, some teachers, how I compartmentalize so many other facets of my life, some teachers can really compartmentalize that, and they can see it and treat it as a job. So, I get that. No slight on them. I've never been able to do that. I've always had difficult kids. I've always had kids who had a need. And I think for me, how people have love languages and things that make them feel good. One of the things that makes me feel good is being kind or caring for people or doing for people. And, some people just really don't understand that. I had to grow into forgiveness. Like, say, for example, I've been kind to someone, and then they do something, and I'm like, dang, why would they do that to me? Like, ugh. And I would just immediately drop a brick wall. So I've had to work on forgiveness. You know how they say forgiveness is something that you give to yourself as well as the other person. That's very true. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call, y'all. Excuse me.
All right, so I have visited Mom, and today's visit was,
I don't know, y'all. I think sometimes I get so used to saying it was okay, it was fine, it was, all the things that I feel like I should say that I've been conditioned, and it's so weird. I have to break some of my conditioning, but I've been conditioned to say. I think I grew up like anyone. Oh, where's my mic? Like, really, where's my mic? Is it on? Alright, so we are back. And today's visit was okay. Actually, I don't know. I think I've been so conditioned to just say everything is okay, even if and when it's not. Today's visit was probably rough-ish. And oddly enough, it wasn't rough so much because of all the memory loss. It was rough because she was kind of lucid. She asked me about one of my brothers who passed away. And she was like, I haven't seen him in a long time. How is he? Is he staying out of trouble? And I was like, yeah, he's staying out of trouble. And, she kind of turned away for a second. She came back, she said, didn't he pass away? And I was like, where'd that come from? And so I said, yeah, and it's, you have to see her deal with that grief again. I almost want to lie, but how do I lie when she's having one of her few good moments, so I don't know. So I told her that, and then it was just a few lucid things that she was saying, and she talked about the thing that really got me was she was saying, what did I do to come here? Why am I here? I must have done something really bad. What was it? What did I do? And of course I didn't tell her. I was like, it's basically for your own protection. It's because, the neighborhood is starting getting kind of rough, and we wanted to make sure you were safe. We didn't want anyone targeting you as an older woman and things like that. But I kind of think she knew I might have been lying because, again, she was pretty lucid today. The reality is my mother had reached a point where she would leave the car running in the garage. We were all there one time, and I don't know why we went to the car. I guess it was to get something out of the car, whatever. And the car was full on running. Had we not gone down there, no doubt it would have run until it ran out of gas, which it had plenty, and we would have left. My mother would have been there asleep. Her bedroom was over the garage, so it's not hard to connect those dots. She had also everything happened kind of in rapid succession, so it was like, oh, it's time. Mom's got to move. You got to find a place for her. But another thing she would do is, on her way to or from places that she's gone hundreds of times, she would get lost and literally pull over on the side of the road and just kind of flag people, wave people down until they pulled over to help her. And anybody could have pulled over, anybody could have taken advantage of her, stolen from her. It was a lot. There were safety issues in the house, and so I guess it's kind of hard too, because if I had my druthers, if she wasn't so far gone, it's ironic because I was just talking about being retired. If I was retired, I could have been the person to take care of her, or even they have subsidies for people who take care of older family members or family members in need. And that could have been, I guess, paid toward me, as opposed to us paying this exorbitant amount for her to stay in memory care. But she was honestly too far gone. I would have been the prisoner then, I wouldn't have been able to leave the home because she would have left something running or on. She would burn things all the time, leave the oven on, put metal things in the microwave. It was just so many things that she had begun to do wrong that told us, yeah, she's got to go. We don't have a choice. And those same things would not have allowed me I wouldn't have been able to sleep because, she sundowns, and for anyone not knowing what that is, she doesn't go to sleep. She'll be up all night rummaging through things putting things away. She thinks sometimes that someone's breaking in to steal. Like, Alzheimer's is truly, truly a cruel disease. And I don't know, it's almost, this sounds so strange to say, but it's a bit easier, I think, when she's in her regular Alzheimer's state than when she's lucid and feels like she was being punished. That's really what she was saying. She felt like she was being punished. Feels like I'm in jail. Why am I here locked up with these people? And also strange was that, now bear in mind, the Alzheimer's wasn't cured, so she would reintroduce me every time someone came into the room. But what was startling is she would say, "Hey, Anna, this is my baby Kymberly. Kymberly, this is an Anna." And it was like that, for her to know the name of each and every single person who came in the room, that's not unusual. She just tries to play it off typically, and "Hey baby, how you doing, sugar? How you like she does that, as opposed to trying to use their name. So it was a hard visit, and I'm not crying. I'm not. My eye is just itchy. But yeah, it was hard, and it's also hard because I don't know. It was just hard. It was hard. I've gotten in trouble for this to some extent before, but I'm the person that, mom wanted in charge of things and all of that, because I guess I have a certain amount of strength to deal with things. But I've gotten in trouble for this before, but I will say it again, as the strong friend, the strong person, y'all need to check on your strong friends, because we go through it just like anybody else. It may not show. We may not discuss it. Like, when do you really hear me going into depth about my mother's Alzheimer's? Not hardly, right? So it may not show, but it affects us. It hurts. It's a lot to deal with, just like anyone else. But I say I got in trouble for that before, because sometimes when you say things, like on here, I'll be speaking and I know what I mean when I say it. So I think even in editing, I heard me say it back, and it may get misconstrued, misunderstood. It may sound like a put down or things like that. But one thing about me is I genuinely do have a forgiving spirit. That doesn't mean that I always keep people in my life after they've hurt me. I'm not a fool. I'm forgiving, but I'm not a fool. I will say too, though, that sometimes you got to be careful of that. Like, there are times when I've told someone, you know what, I realized that person said or did whatever activity because they come from a place where they're not used to a genuine friend, or they come from a place where they're not used to a true sisterhood. They're not used to whatever. And so they're looking for ways to see, is somebody, you trying to screw me up, you trying to, they're used to doing that. I can forgive somebody for being offensive when their life is lived on the defense. That's not a problem for me. What I notice too, though, is, and I'm sharing this with y'all, sometimes you got to be careful of people who are like, well, you can do it if you want to, but I ain't boo-boo the fool. I ain't doing it. I ain't, and that's fine. I think, though, when someone says, I ain't boo-boo the fool, what they're trying to say is you are. You boo-boo the fool if you do that. And you have to be, I have to be careful of people like that, because what I know to be true is they're trying to box me into a certain category or a certain way that they think or that they feel as well. Like I'm so off-center. That's a little better. But I feel like they're trying to box me in, and in a way, that's a form of control. Like, not only are you not forgiving the person, but you're trying to control the narrative on whether I do or not as well. You're trying to, get that. Because even with my mom, I'll share this too, there is some forgiveness that had to be extended on my part. And it wasn't easy. I won't say it was easy, but it was necessary, because I feel like she was operating from her own source of pain and struggle and trouble. I mean, when you think about it, and I think about some of the things my mother has seen in her years, she had a mother who herself picked cotton. She grew up in the South where racism runs rampant. Mississippi is probably the poorest state in the nation. If it ain't, it's got to be second. I'm thinking second maybe to Alabama. That's a very poor state as well. My mother picked cotton, albeit because she was helping her mother pick cotton. Like, there are a lot of hurts and pains and things. My mother is still of a generation where, as a full-grown woman, at one time she couldn't even open a bank account. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of struggles and times that she still remembers, and resentments that she has, not only just in her own life, but from her own mother. And so I had to be the person to say, you know what, I see how my mother did it, and that's not what I want for my daughter. That's not the mother I want to be. So I'm going to do, and then I had to set forth going my own path, breaking generational curses, if you will. So once I really just received that and let go of my need for my get back, because I'm gonna tell you, my get back need was strong for a long time. Like, aside from my mother, just in general and in life, Kymberly has had a spirit of get back. It's been strong, but you know, thankfully I really don't feel that anymore. I'm able to look at people like, okay, that's a hurt individual right there. Like, I forgive them for the stuff they did. God bless you. It may be God bless you and they give me 6 feet, but it's definitely a God bless you, and I thank God for that. When I tell you, that is something I prayed hard about, cried hard about, worked hard on. And I even shared that with my mother before Alzheimer's, which is part of the reason that I guess she wanted me in charge of things. Because whether I agree with something or not, whatever she states that she wants done with her stuff, that's what gets done. You know, it's not a matter of, that I don't like it like that, I'm going to rearrange it, which is exactly what happened when one of my family members, a sibling, was trusted to be alone with her documents. You know, I didn't recognize that in that person before. I didn't see that evil component before. And so, you know, bad things happened. And there's a certain amount of guilt I carry for that, but also I can't totally be guilty for someone else's actions. Someone else chose to do something that they had no business doing, and I can't hold that guilt. But yeah, my mother and I had those discussions before, and I talked to her about that, and I was like, yeah, that's something I'm praying on, that's something I'm working on. I talked with my father about it as well, and it was something that he had to do in life too. And he told me and shared that the hardest person he ever had to forgive was his doggone self. And that's been true for me too. There are some things that, like I just mentioned with the whole finances and that sibling getting in and just making a mess of things, that I had to forgive myself for that too. A lot of times I think, especially for women, it's hard to forgive ourselves. But you know, again, that's a part of that enlightened and elevated spirit of my father, that, you know, he knew he needed to forgive himself. Because I can't tell you how many selfish men I've seen and encountered. They don't need to forgive themselves for nothing. They ain't selfish, they ain't this, they ain't, you know, they just keep on moving through life, bulldozing honestly through life, hurting other people and not understanding that they're that common denominator. But anyway, I say all that to say that it was a rough visit in the strangest way. It was rough because, again, she was lucid. If you know someone with a family member who has Alzheimer's, because I mean, I definitely don't mean to sound selfish. If you know someone with Alzheimer's and they're in your family, then you're going to understand this statement I'm about to say, which does sound selfish. In fact, Alzheimer's is actually harder on the people around the person suffering with Alzheimer's than it is on the person suffering with Alzheimer's. That being said, seeing her suffer today in those lucid moments is what made it hard. Like, I'm used to having to suffer through it myself, answering the questions over and over, giving her assurances, blatantly lying to her. I forgot what her doctor, I think she called it mercy lying, something like that, because, you know, in taking her to her doctor's appointments, sometimes the doctor talks to me as well, and she's like, well, how are you doing? Because I know it's very hard on the caregivers. And I was like, if anything, you know, I try to live an honest life. I genuinely do. I try not to say things that I don't mean, other than I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm sorry is probably the only and biggest lie that I'll tell people. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But again, even when I'm saying I'm sorry and talking to someone or talking through things, the fact that I'm caring enough to talk through something is what can tell that person I genuinely care. So for anybody who's heard me say I'm sorry and you're wondering, did she mean it when she said it to me? If we continue the conversation and I didn't say I'm sorry, drop that bomb on you and walk off, then yeah, I meant it. You saw me stick around, you heard me try to deal with you, work through things, yeah, then clearly I meant it. But getting back to the doctor, I would tell her that, yeah, you know, it's kind of hard. I try to live an honest life, but I find myself lying to her all the time. Like, she'll ask me, how are all the kids? Instead of continuously telling her I only have one and maybe making her feel away, I just say, oh, everybody's fine, everybody's this. Same thing like what with my brother, when she asked me about him. I was like, oh yeah, he's doing good. He's staying out of trouble and all of that, you know. That's what deceased people do. Sometimes I've told her, oh, he chilling, you know, try to do a tongue-in-cheek joke to myself to make it a little bit easier and things like that. But yeah, I want to say mercy lying is what she called it. And she said, you know, I wouldn't even look at that as genuinely lying. And that kind of made me feel better, because this is a person who specializes in it. She's talked over and again with people and family members who deal with it as well. I have considered joining some kind of support group for it, but I don't know that I'm at that phase of it. You know what I mean? I don't know that I'm really needing the support. Sometimes people can see in you what you can't see out. But I think my life is full and busy enough, and I'm just sharing this today because this one day has been a rough day out of so very many. You know, like if I put it on the scale of 1 to 10, usually rough days range in a 6-7 range. Today was ratcheted up to about a 9-ish, and I'm just not even used to that. There was another 9-day, and that was the day, and this is what's so strange about this disease. This was literally moonshine sold here. No, that sign didn't say that. Is moonshine legal? Must be if they put the sign out. Maybe it was a joke. I don't know, mind your business, Kymberly. But years ago, my mother literally and truly confused me with my own daughter. And so I was like, oh my gosh, wow, today she was here and now she just plummeted. She hasn't done that again since. So she's come back up and had much better days. I will say too, sleep matters so much. Just like I could be halfway delirious if I haven't had sleep for a while. With that sundowning, and if days and days of her doing that go by, she hallucinates and everything. Like it's a lot. It can be a lot. So knock on wood, we haven't had those kind of days. So I think I'm just not, I got spoiled. I got spoiled by the 6s and 7s. I don't know. That's a lot of rambling that I've been doing. I'll probably cut a whole bunch of that out, and it probably doesn't even make sense. But at the same time, maybe there's someone else out there who is dealing with it, and maybe it can help. I think something else that helps is being familiar. Now, the people there know I'll drop in a heartbeat. Sometimes I've done 2-a-days if I'm off work. Anyway, I think I'll play a little music, get into some happy thoughts out of those sad thoughts, and we'll talk some more soon. Good morning, sunshine. We are up at the briggity break of dawn, trying to get out here and get this candy for my kids. Girl, now me almost getting up out the car with these rollers upside my head. I heard you, Chloe. I heard you. But anyway, let's take these out. Presentable now. But I tell you what, I took a picture of her. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. I didn't say I was always nice though. But I took a picture of this lady. I'll put the picture up. And meanwhile, I gotta go in and all that stuff because we still gotta go to work. Good morning. Is all this stuff half off?
25% for food and candy.
They got peanut minis. This little bag costs $10. Oh, there we got bag of Skittles. Oh, this one isn't bad. Oh, Skittles have gone down. Let's try something new. Why not? So good. Yeah, I feel like I did pretty good for $39.43 and $25 assisted. So, yeah, that's a win-win for real. And away we go to work. I had to go get something because I want to talk to y'all about the good, the bad, and the ugly that I saw today. Right now I'm tying knots in these because my kids are going to make necklaces. But just in case you're wondering what I'm looking down at and doing, how about today? You know, we get back, first day back from spring break. Some of my little girls got fresh little braids in their hair, looking just as cute. A couple of them got new outfits and all of that. I see one of my little boys. Oh, okay, I see you. He got on a crisp new shirt, I can tell, because he can't stop doing this. And he got his little jeans on, super white. I mean, bleach white tennis shoes and a fresh haircut. Got a little fade, all of that. I said, oh, look at that. That looks so good. Look at you. Right when I was about to tell him how nice he looked today, he looks at me and then looks away. I thought, okay, well, what you about to do, little boy? But of course, I don't say anything. I just stay busy, you know, just doing what I do here in my little desk. And I'm watching. I see him very smoothly slide a little note on a desk. Oh, hold on. That's that same little girl whose face I keep telling him to get out of. Huh. Well, we're going to have to see how this plays out. Slides the little card over to her, and then he does outsourcing. And so he ended up having to leave the room. Thank you. Needed that because that's what I was waiting on. As soon as he leaves the room, I go over there, I swoops by, pick up the card. All right? Mm-hmm. So I get the card. Y'all wondering what it say? Let me tell you. Because, you know, it's just us here. On the outside of the card, it says, to my love. I'm sorry, what? How you get a love? You the same little boy. I got to fuss it all the time about hold your sister's hand before y'all cross the street. But you got to, okay, to my love. Hold on, somebody at my door. Okay, my bad, y'all. But anyway, so told you the good. He looked good, all fitted up. Slice a little card. I get the card to my love. Open it up on the inside and it says happy birthday. Now I know it ain't the little girl's birthday because I remember when her birthday was. So this ain't no, And then I thought, oh, maybe it's an invitation to his. No, I remember when his was too. So what we doing? Well, we went and got whatever pretty little card we had at home, I guess. Bust open the card. It says, it does start off with hey, which is funny because you got to remember, they're in kindergarten. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm going to give y'all a second to read it. I covered up her name. He forgot to write his own name. But in case you couldn't see it, hey, I love you. I love, put the girl's name there. Do you live me? I'm sure he meant love. Do you live me? Yes or no? If you do, then do you want to be my girlfriend? Yes or no? I said, what? What? I'm laughing. But do you think this little girl ever gonna see the light of this note? Absolutely not. Absolutely. I ain't even told him that I took the note. So all day he been looking at her, waiting on an answer, waiting. Maybe she ain't got nothing to say to something she don't even know about. Yeah, they probably out there talking about it at recess right now. But that's how that's going to be. It's going to have to be out there. It's going to have to be elsewhere. It's not going to be here. So that's the good. He came in looking good. Bad. That's what we doing in kindergarten. That's what. Now, when he came in, he knew his letters. He didn't know all his sounds. So now, I guess there's a little bit of good in the fact that he now knows his letters. He can put them together. Switched up live with love. But again, he's 5. This is kindergarten. The bad is really that that's what you're doing with the skills that I taught you. You doing it? Oh, okay. Okay, bad. Because you know what else? Today's the first day back from spring break. So, of course, I asked the kids, write or draw or tell me what you did for spring break. Baby, you ain't going to break me off no 1 or 2 words. Not when you writing whole notes like that. Hey, my love. Hey, you better write. You better like, do you want to be my girlfriend? Yes. I cannot even believe that's what we're doing in kindergarten. Really? So I'm sitting there looking like, all day, watching him. Look at her. Is she gonna answer? Is she gonna? He been on pins and needles. I ain't got nothing to say. But here's what the ugly part of it is. The ugly part is he at least asked her, do you love me? Do you like me? Because I've been out and about. And let me tell you, some of these grown men, they just assume and presume. Like they just feel entitled. What woman wouldn't want them? And if a woman says no, I've seen some of them, well, you look like this anyway, or I've seen some of them get real nasty. Maybe they're not doing that in your city. But I looked at that, I said there's some good, there's some bad, and some ugly, but it is hard for me to believe that's what we're doing in kindergarten. Write notes about being my girl in kindergarten. I didn't get my first one until I was like in 5th grade. 5th grade. Like everything is they doing too much for me. And then I remember a girl named Lavetta. Oh, I must say her whole name. I don't need to say her whole name. But she was a little bit fast. She was quick. But she was talking about tongue kissing and all of that stuff that goes. And I'm just sitting there like, because to me that sounds disgusting. I got my own tongue in my own mouth. Why would I want somebody else's tongue in my mouth? I'm good. Like that, I could not make sense of that for nothing in the world. But they went around and every time have you ever? So you know what I said. I lied. I lied. I said, yes, I had. Because I didn't want to be the only one that hadn't. But oh my goodness, the thought of that was, are you freaking serious? I mean, you learn and you grow. Hopefully he learns and he grows and he never loses that edge of asking, of putting himself out there, of making himself look nice. Because I'm telling you, he looks so nice today. He looks so put together, so cute and adorable. But that's why. Yeah, my time is up. I gotta go pick up the children. But yeah, that's what America children doing in kindergarten.